Labor Day weekend brings both good and bad news. Good first, of course. The summer of travel hell is nearly over. Bad news, obviously, being the summer is also over. It's going to be a busy weekend ahead. AAA says bookings for domestic travel, including air cars, cruises, hotels, tours, that's up 22% versus a year ago, believe it or not. Internationally, though, those numbers have doubled since 2021. Pilots, though, from Fort Worth to Orlando, Delta to United, they are picketing this weekend at airports, calling for better conditions and benefits after this brutal summer travel season. And ahead of the holiday weekend, the Transportation Department launching a dashboard that shows which amenities and services each airline will provide to passengers if and when, if you've flown, there is a delay or cancellation within an airline's control that's such as staffing or a mechanical issue. You can find it all at transportation.gov. It is actually pretty easy to navigate. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg recently sent a letter to the 10 biggest airline CEOs informing them of this dashboard, also calling the level of disruption Americans have experienced this summer unacceptable. They also warned of future rules and regulations if they don't correct things. And thus far, 2.6% of all flights have been canceled. 1.3 million flights have been delayed this year. So, Shauna, I don't know if you've checked out this database from transportation.gov, but you can find out things like just go straight down your airline, say it's United, and find out what you're owed when inevitably those delays and cancellations happen. And I think this is important transparency. I don't know why it took so long, but it is important for all of us to know what we're owed when they just tell you, oh, it's a 3-hour delay, and then you find out it's a mechanical issue that is in their control. And that's what it looks like right there on your screen.
Yeah, it's so important. Buttigieg, of course, like you said, has been pushing for something like this. You mentioned the fact, over 1 million flights have been delayed during the summer. So certainly this has affected so many people. And you talk about if you get delayed in the first leg of your flight, you might not be getting to your destination on time, or you might not be going at all. So certainly has a massive impact on these travelers. What's interesting to me is the fact that it hasn't deterred many people from traveling. And I think a lot of that has to do with the pent-up demand, which of course has been fueled by the pandemic. Priceline was out with some numbers regarding this weekend. Searches for hotels over the weekend rising 19% year over year. Flight searches still up 15%. So, Rochelle, we are certainly seeing some issues, to put it lightly, within the travel space, but demand, though, staying pretty consistent.
I think people are determined to travel regardless. I mean, even though prices are high, people are like, look, I might not have taken a vacation this year. I'm just going to bite the bullet and take it. And it's interesting, though, I like the idea of transparency. So obviously, this calls some of these airlines into account. Now, in terms of some of the penalties, though, I'm not sure how that's going to go in terms of the punishment for some of these airlines and what's going to be considered controllable versus, unforeseeable changes. But I say the more transparency, the better. And if you have a website, you can sort of plan a little better. And, especially if you have a short trip, a delay can really ruin everything for you. You might not even get your bags in time for you to come back. So, yay, transparency.
Yeah.